Hello, Al pals. Welcome to Big Al Presents Films with Friends. The film is the 1968 science fiction classic, the film that started a franchise and set the model for merchandising that would be the prototype that Star Wars would perfect. A lot of people don't know that this is one of the first franchises that really got a lot of merchandise out there. That is the film. The Friends, of course, are the wonderful apish Troy Pacelli. He
Uh,
is so chimptastic. Uh, how are you doing, sir? Cartan the Klingon cleric. How you doing tonight? What you sipping
I
on?
I am doing very well. I am slipping. I am slipping. I am slipping. No,
He's okay. He's got something tonight, boys.
no alcohol, but it is high octane. I'm having a Rockstar energy drink tonight. I've been a little bit off today, really sleepy, and I needed some juice. So I'm up and running, and
You a coffee drinker?
I am not really a coffee drinker. I enjoy it fine, but it just seems like too much effort for me to make it in the morning,
Okay.
for just me. So I never bother.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh,
I
oh,
go ahead.
I was going to introduce your better half.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring her in.
And of course, also with us, the lovely and of course tonight, little apish herself, Miss I'm sorry, I got tongue tied. Miss Nanette Pacelli of Netters Network. How are you doing, my lady? And what doth thou sippeth upon this evening?
It's like you kind of slipped into the old English there.
Yeah,
I
no, I
am
do that every
doing
now and then.
very well, Al, and I am sipping on a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
What
very
Troy
good.
didn't mention is if you were to make coffee, it would be very, very old coffee because we never make coffee in this house unless,
Mhm.
like, we had guests over and they wanted coffee. Then we would, like, go out and buy a small container of it, and then it just sits in a cupboard for years because we
I've
don't get
always
company
heard
that often, and
uh,
so it's like,
I've heard putting it in a freezer works. I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sure it does, but we haven't. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like because we're not really coffee drinkers. I mean, like if we're at a restaurant or something, and they offer Troy coffee, he might have a cup,
yeah,
but it's not
yeah.
like we're not
I'm
like those
not
people that
either.
have to have coffee every day.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not either. I've just never been a coffee drinker. My grandfather was, and he was not fussy. He was a mm, instant coffee guy. You know,
Oh,
just
taste your choice.
Sure.
it just mix it. Pour hot water in the grounds and go for it. Or the deep whatever they are, not deep fried, uh, freeze dried.
Freeze dried.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know. I like
Deep
deep
fried
fried
coffee.
better.
Yeah, it's a very different process.
I'm sure someone's figured it out somehow or other.
Deep
Um,
fried freeze drying.
Yes, and I've
Yeah.
got, of course, my go-to, my Diet Mountain Dew tonight. That is,
Do the do.
I do the do as I like to do so well.
So we're both
Uh,
caffeinated tonight.
yeah, well, I'm caffeinated all the time. That's what I drink basically. Is like if it's not Diet Dr Pepper, I do have some Diet Dr Pepper, or Crystal Light um, peach tea, or regular Crystal Light iced tea, which I keep a picture of in the refrigerator just for something different. Let's welcome to chat. The first one that I saw was the incredible Lynn Green, who saying, "This is a madhouse, a madhouse." Have fun on the stream. I'll catch you on the rewatch
Yeah,
at some point in the next few days. She is a very loyal
she is.
later watcher, which is
And I
always
appreciate that about her because I feel like for these live streams, I just feel like most of the time, very rarely do people come back and check them out later. It's usually
yeah, yeah,
live or not. But there's Lynn is one, and there's a couple others
yeah. And
that
it's like,
are
and
very
it's
faithful about the next day or the day after.
and what I do love about Lynn is that she'll comment several times throughout
Yes.
her
Yes.
watching the movie, and that's awesome because she'll catch things and she's listening because she's watching because
She'll
she
say something that
say
happened like in the
something that
middle of the video or
happened
something. Yeah.
that had nothing to do with the movie, just something we were talking about.
Yeah.
Which is the point. We sit and chat. Who
Okay,
else
so
do we have?
need to
Of
be,
course.
we need to be careful then what we're saying.
Oh yeah. Well, that's probably always the case, but I don't think I'll ever be that way.
Of course, Netter is greeting everybody. Deleted scenes. Hail, everyone. Welcome,
Steven
deleted
Otten, my
scenes.
friend, the best blue wrench in YouTube land.
Satoran Clegane and Daniel Heron is actually still awake. Oh my goodness.
For now.
For now, this was 8 minutes ago. He's probably already asleep.
Right?
I was going to say, if Daniel was still here, if he wanted to come on, he'd be welcome because Planet of the Apes composer Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh, that's right.
There. And from a couple things I read, this was the film that turned him from just Jerry Goldsmith to Jerry Goldsmith. This was like because he's done some big films, but this one kind of bolstered him up more. I think this was like a pillar film for him. At least I came across something that said that. So yes, Planet of the Apes. No, I did not see it in the movie theater when it came out because I was only 3. So not exactly something I would have readily have picked up on.
Yeah.
But caught it sometime in the 70s, probably on television. I don't know if I ever got to see it on a re-release. I know they don't do it. Well, they do it every once in a while, but they make a big deal out of it. But studios would re-release films every few years sometimes, like give it a couple week run. Of course, now they'll take a big film and put it in a theater for like one night only, and they'll do it like a couple times. But yeah, they would re-release, and it would be back in theaters for a small run. And I might have caught it at that time, but if I didn't, it was probably on television when I got it. And just absolutely fascinated me. Talking apes was such a great concept. Of course, it was based on the novel by Pierre Boulez. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. But he wrote the novel, and before he actually was finished and it was published, the concept got out, and he was approached by people wanting to make it a film. And okay, Daniel is here. He's like, I heard that, and I won't last up. He's been up since 4. Good.
Man, I mean, we're gonna pick on you, but we certainly can't blame you. I mean, it's,
I talked to Daniel a lot. Just via messaging. Each day, and I do know that weekends are his busy time. For his business, and he does work a lot on the weekend, more so than the weekdays sometimes, I think. But he gets up. He's up early a lot, and God bless him. He's a hardworking man because he has to make money to buy those soundtracks.
he's gotta work hard to pay other people's tuition.
He was
Jeez, don't even get me started on that. Okay. We're going to go a little political here. Did you see the guy talking to Elizabeth Warren?
I did. I absolutely did. I shared
beautiful.
It out on Twitter too.
Yeah, it might have been where I saw it. It might have been your tweet. Oh my God, that was perfect. It's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, where's my money? I worked hard. I pay. I did this. Why am I not getting the same consideration? It's exactly right. I had a Pell Grant. Guess what? I got a job and I paid it back.
Yep.
And
same here.
I had a bank loan. I paid it back. Didn't whine. Didn't bitch or moan about it. I paid it off.
Yeah.
I gotta say that yeah, and then I'm reading the comments on that video, and I didn't want to get into something with some stranger on the internet, but I did take and quote. Well, I kind of paraphrased what he said and turned it into my own tweet after that. Person said, I paid off my own loan too, but I don't mind, helping out someone else to pay off theirs. I said, exactly. That when you choose to help somebody, that's capitalism. When the government forces you to do it, that's socialism. And you get to choose when and how much and who, whereas the government has no limits on the money they take from you.
I gotta say, I had a loan worth my $10,000. I want my $10,000.
There's a huge
check any day now.
I don't really mention this too much on my channel and whatnot, but I probably really should. There's a huge disconnect between following me on YouTube and following me on Twitter. Following me on YouTube, it's all geeky stuff and rewatches and all that kind of stuff. Over on Twitter, it's all politics and, well, really just sharing for other people's YouTube channels.
And people know me. If people follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, I'm not a political person.
No, you're not.
For the most part. But there are some decisions that just become idiotic. Yeah. And this one is idiotic. I mean, it's one thing to maybe try to limit how much tuition is, but to actually forgive a debt and forgive it for only certain people and not like everybody who's ever had a debt, that's no.
We're going to have no choice. On Sunday on Geeky Geezers, we're going to be getting into some economics and politics because of some of the news articles coming up. But I think it's really important to understand that these are things that affect everybody's lives, whether they even realize it or not. Mm-hmm. And, we talk about messaging in films and so forth. We'll probably get into a lot of that tonight.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. But it's always... That's what storytelling is. It is a way of talking about current events, things people are afraid of in their lives, politics, war, all these things.
Yeah,
sometimes, though, in a way that makes it a little bit more buffered, a little bit more easier to digest.
Yeah, and last night, guess what I did? I watched Gone with the Wind again. Because I watch it all the time, and they use it as a teaching. They're like, this was a time, and that's fine. You don't need to chop things up.
Yep.
But I mean, if anybody has seen my latest video I put out yesterday I did a 3 for. I don't know if you saw it.
It's in my watch later queue. I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's not a great. I mean, it's not a great video by any means. My just rambling. But one of the films is at Netflix, Purple Hearts. And that sucker is laden with political and social crap. Still, I enjoyed the movie I enjoyed the parts that didn't have that in. But it was like split down the middle for me. But enough of that. We are here to go ape. We are here to see what would happen if apes ruled the world. Well, sort of.
Would it be that much better or worse?
A lot of different concepts. Very, ouch, jeez. Sorry, my hand kind of cramped up on me. I did something and a finger got weird. And my hand started hurting. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
But yeah, let's. Starting. We're going to start at the very beginning.
That's a very fine place to start.
Yes, it is. At the 0 mark, it was about a 2 beat, couple seconds before the Fox logo kicks in. Let me get it on up here. The movie is an hour 52, and my version is an hour 52, so that's good for pacing.
Yep. Mine is a little different. It's an hour 52 and 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's what mine is. That is actually what mine is.
Okay, then we're perfect.
It's probably the same version.
Starting right from the 00 mark.
Starting from the 00 mark.
Okay.
If you do not have the movie, the Cosme link is at the top of the YouTube chat. Please, when we start, let us know if you can hear it.
Yes, I have. I've checked it. In fact, I've got it fed back into my second computer, so I will be watching it on Cosme as well. So if you don't see it initially, make sure you do a screen refresh. It should be playing.
Deleted scenes 15202. Yep, that seems to be.
He probably, if he's in Cosme right now, he's probably seeing the blank screen and the timer at the bottom.
and of course, public service announcement: apes don't have tails, monkeys have tails. That's the difference. Right. So just so we know that, and we're dealing with 3 kinds of apes. Poor gibbons, they are a lesser ape. Don't get any press. It's all gorillas, chimps, and orangutans that rule the world. We're starting. Like I said, I'll do the countdown and say start. Everybody ready to go? 3, 2, 1, go. Dun dun. Brrr, dun dun. The classic logo.
Right.
But not the full logo. I always like the whole fanfare when they put it in here. I love these early space effects.
Yeah, which is a very similar effect to what I remember from the Superman movie in 70 whatever.
78.
Yep.
79. 78. Yeah, 78.
Sir Torrance, so when does Marky Mark show up in this movie? Smart ass.
Not for a hell of a long time. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to give the Marky Mark movie another chance one day. Because there's some things in it I want to check out again. And plus the ending of that movie is actually the original ending.
Yeah.
The ending for this was one of several they picked.
Yeah. So this was one of the first movies that I know of that dealt with general relativity and the time dilation concept in a realistic way.
I think they measured 3 days on Earth for every hour for them or something. I forget what the time difference.
Sure.
The first ape movie I saw was not this one. I saw the one with Roddy McDowall, and I forget who the.
This is the one with Roddy McDowall.
No, the one where she's got the monkey on Earth, and then they have to.
That's ape, not monkey, ape.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That was
Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was the first one I saw. I didn't see this one until later.
Yeah.
So this is like a prequel to that one.
That one has Khan in it.
Right. Ricardo Montalban, yeah. Now, the funny thing is him smoking a cigar on a spaceship.
Yeah,
I don't think that's ever going to be a possibility.
It's the late 60s,
Yeah. This is a great set. I mean, this is brilliant.
It's a cool looking ship. The ship is. They never named the ship in the movie. In the script, or somewhere it was Liberty 1, but somehow Icarus has been kind of given that designation also to the ship. Some say like Liberty 1 is like an official thing, but the Icarus is actually the ship. It's a weird thing. I like Icarus because it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
It does, yeah.
And originally the crew was 4 men. They put in the woman at the last minute, but it's
then they fridged her.
Yeah, like very simple effect. Just blew. Oh man, I love that music.
Yep.
And of course, one of the screenwriters for this film, very, very popular man named Rod Sterling.
Oh
Not
yeah.
Sterling. Sterling. I always want to put the T in there. I love this
Is that the
music.
Night Gallery guy, Rod Serling?
Yeah, Twilight Zone.
Yeah, or
Mhm.
Twilight Zone. Yeah,
Well, both.
Yeah, he did both.
I used to love that show.
Yep.
He worked. Yeah, he worked on this for like over a year. Like there were like 40 drafts or something.
Man.
Music, Jerry Goldsmith. I
Well,
just like this. I like this beginning. It just is
when
so.
you talk about how many drafts and you think about how much effort goes into a movie like this, it's like, look, I don't accept people, doing a film and then saying, well, I meant to do this, or, if I had it to do over again, or director cut, or what. No. Get it right the first time. And then you
Right.
go back to a movie like this that had 40 drafts and they agonized over it and they had multiple possible endings and stuff before deciding on one. Put the effort in before, not after.
Right, or during. During.
Well,
is
yeah.
is hideous.
Sure.
Or at least have something to. When you begin a film, have a finished script.
Yes.
You can tweak it as you go, but don't be still writing the thing.
Well, and when I hear that a script isn't finished when they start filming, I go, then why even bother with a script? Just do a live stream of your movie.
I like
Make it
this-
up as you go.
I like this
You mean like
transition
Game of
right
Thrones?
into
Yeah.
the crash. Whee!
That's some crazy camera work.
I know. I can't watch the screen. It's making me dizzy sick.
Yeah, and they meant to do it like really weird and shaky like that to give it
Oh, I'm sure.
to keep the audience kind of off balance a little bit.
It's just making me motion sick. So it's like, nope, I won't be watching that bit.
That's what he says. We're going down. Sometimes making it up as you go along can have its dividends. Look at Iron Man.
Sir Torrance says sometimes making it up as you go can pay dividends. Look at Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying, some improv and changing lines and stuff isn't, good, but
Well, because the famous line, get your hands off me, get your paws off me, you damn dirty apes,
yeah.
was actually not the script line. It was what he said. It's
Yeah.
Charlton Heston made it up.
There is
I love
a
it.
difference between, changing of a line or tweaking it and not being ready with a complete script when you start. I mean, that's a huge difference.
And I always thought that that one guy looks like Sean Connery.
He does. Okay, so this indicates to me that their metabolisms may have been slowed, but they were not like, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
she's dead. But
Yeah, and actually, that is an 80-year-old woman with makeup.
wow.
So the
I
guy
love that. I
survived.
love
She
that
didn't.
pointy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, she
But she looks mummified. So how many years supposedly have passed? Do we know?
exactly. They're in the year 30. It's been like over 1,000 years, I think. Got it written. It's somewhere. 2006 years after their departure in 1972, due to the time dilation. Because it was like the year 2000 something when they went into hibernation, and when they crash, it's November 23rd, 3978.
Wow.
just after Thanksgiving. I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. Someone figured that out.
Cool, cool.
So yes, this is their holiday vacation.
So what'd you do on your vacation?
Planes, trains, and spaceships.
So, I don't know if there's any place that you actually see the whole ship, but from the interiors that you see and that nose sticking out, you get the impression of a stylized space shuttle, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like a dart. Well, not well. Yeah, it's a triangle. It's 11/25/39/78.
78.
But yeah, so they're crawling underneath the front dash to get to the front where the escape hatch is.
Yeah.
And it's not a very big ship, so they really don't have a lot of room to move around in that thing. They've got 4 chairs and then the 4 sleeping compartments.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of blueprints for it. It is just a small little capsule. That's basically all it is.
I like that. He jumps in the water, but he held his nose when he jumped in. So I would have had a problem there. I don't know how to swim.
You can't swim?
Never learned. It's
Really?
funny. It's like my sisters, my brother, they all kind of like taught each other. When it came to my turn, I was kind of like, you're the youngest. Never mind.
Can you float?
I suppose.
Because
I mean,
some
I've
people
floated
they-
like, yeah, I've been in pools and like held onto the side and kind of floated up, but I've never tried letting go because as soon as the thought entered my head to let go, I panic.
need to toss her into a pool, Troy.
No, because that would piss me
Swimming.
off too much. The sister above me, they did that to her to teach her, quote unquote, how to swim. And it's like, no, you don't do that crap.
Yeah, I had someone do that to me as a little kid, and I had a long haul before I could get back in the water again.
Now, what's
think this-
interesting is I have tried to swim underwater, but because I wear contacts, it's like I can't have my eyes open because the contacts might swim out. But if I go under the water and hold my breath and kind of kick, I can go under the water, but I can't do it on top of the water. Go figure.
They're trying to figure out where they are. They think they're on a planet that's around a star in Orion.
Right.
I
But-
think in the book it was Beetlejuice.
But he is pointing out that you don't know because you didn't have a chance to check.
Exactly.
So one is probably saying this is where we were planning to go, and the other one's going, yeah, but we don't have a reality check to go on.
Story guy, an 80-year-old woman in makeup. Reminds me of Dick Van Dyke was made up to look like a 97-year-old when he was 93.
Yeah.
So so Torgay's mom learned now the difference is she asked my grandfather to just throw her in. Yeah, I actually don't remember how I learned to swim. I just knew, or at least to my memory, because growing up, my mother ran a motel, and there was a pool out there. So I've always had access to that pool when I was a kid.
It's like, did any of you think to grab food?
Yep. Food and water for 3 days.
turned gray.
1 years old. That's the one thing I loved about the Orville this year when they did that. Instead of doing the quantum drive thing, they just did it old school to get back to the future. Can you imagine seeing this film if you didn't know what the title was?
Good point. Yeah.
I mean, it is a big spoiler.
Lost Explorers, you know?
Yeah, Lost in Space kind of thing.
Well, not as big a spoiler as the box set art that shows the Statue of Liberty. It's you know, and I get it. They assume that this is such a big part of culture.
I always like that little laugh. It's like, what was the motivation?
Okay, why was he laughing? I missed something.
One guy planted a little teeny flag of the U.S. flag.
Yeah.
Claiming the planet for Earth. Or for the U.S.
For the U.S., yeah, which doesn't exist anymore. Actually, that's something they probably even presume. After 2,000 years, does the United States even still exist anymore? Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. You can send a ship out, and the whole relativity thing is happening, but then back on Earth, things progress to the point where it'd be funny if one day just a ship just passes the other one by.
Right. And see, in a different sci-fi film, that's entirely possible. They get there, and maybe it is that other planet or whatever. They get there and they find humans are already there, but they left Earth, last week.
Right.
And still beat them there.
It's like, let's run down the hill. Yay!
That's some rough terrain, though. Beautiful, though, on those long, wide shots. Gorgeous area. But what a great place to film.
Do you know exactly where this was?
I think I read it was like somewhere in Colorado.
I was just going to say Colorado. It seems like.
The early scenes, desert-like terrain shot in the northern Arizona near the Grand Canyon, the Colorado River, Lake Powell, Glen Canyon, and other locations near Page, Arizona. So it was the Colorado River. That's where I saw Colorado at.
And the effect we just saw with the lightning and thunder there, that had to have been done with a matte painting, because they clearly were following the contours of the actually established cloud cover there.
I always like some of the early atmospheric thing, like Damnation Alley, when like the weird storm stuff is going on in the atmosphere, has like all these weird multiple colors and stuff. Poor Charlton Heston went through a lot during this film. He had a really bad case of flu.
Oh,
and it really helped give him that haggard feel, that look.
It's like, I didn't need any makeup. I was just sick.
So plus he was getting beat up by like the rocks and stuff, because he says the rocks were fake, but it's like even rubber rocks hurt.
Yeah.
After a while, after you get hit by them for a while.
So he mentioned something about no moon. Is it established there is no moon in the future, or is it just they haven't seen one yet?
I don't know.
Because I don't remember that ever coming up before. It's
I don't
one
either.
line that in all these years I've completely missed.
Taylor is just. I don't know if he's handling it well or if he's like losing his mind at this point a little bit.
I think it's meant to be implied because I think this is between his laughter at the flag and how he is here. I think it's all a setup for the madhouse line later. I think
Yeah.
he's a little bit tenuous on the sanity thing right now.
Because you know, like we said, Rod Serling wrote this, and if you see a lot of similarities to some of the stories from Twilight Zone.
Sure.
Not exactly the bluebird of happiness, is he? As the lead.
Right.
You're right. He's very. Um, it's philosophical, but I don't know. I don't know if fatalistic is the right word. But-
And it also makes you wonder what was their thought process going into this mission in the first place. You know?
Yeah. What was the original point? You know, was it just exploration?
Because and I think a lot of people have pointed this out. Even if we were to do a mission to Mars, a lot of people say, you know what, it's a one-way trip. You're planning that's where you're going to go end your life, you know? And that's exactly what this crew was doing. They weren't planning to go back.
Yeah, you go out and it's like you're not going. I mean, if there was a return home, what are you going to return to?
Exactly.
I'm not giving anything away for those who haven't seen the film, but things change over time. I mean, they've been going. I mean, think about they've been gone over 2,000 years. Think about things back in the time of Christ.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Well, first off, you're not going to understand a single bit of language.
No,
You're not going to be able to communicate with anyone.
Although there might still be someone who knows the language. It might be very broken, might be very like a weird word here and there.
It'll take some scholar that
Right.
recognizes ancient, American English, but it's a dead language, so we didn't know what it sounded like.
Oh, I found a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And let's dig it up. Let's kill the only thing we found.
yeah. But it is significant. Things
Yeah.
grow. It's a great-
Well, and that's too
could be-
complex a plant for it to be like the first life on the planet,
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
like,
like a
can
dandelion.
we eat it? You've got 3 days of food and water. You need to find something to drink.
Well, and that's just it. It in and of itself may not be edible, but as he points out, that means that there is an ecosystem that can sustain plants.
Right.
So there are probably others,
There has to be a water source. Of some
which
sort.
means there has to be water. Exactly. Well, and they kind of probably figured we see clouds. There's probably water.
Right.
They can literally feel the humidity, so they know there must be. Hey, look, another one.
No, it's the same one.
They've gone in a circle.
No, well, they dug up the one.
Well,
Right.
Dug the other one, yeah. I do love the musical sound effects that they do in this.
I was just thinking that too, and I don't even know what that instrument is. Too bad Birdman's not here. He probably knows.
Well, I do
What's
know
interesting is they were walking along the sand, and I could see like a path where somebody else had walked further ahead
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. Probably the crew or something. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Al?
I was trying to remember. I had read something that about like a lot of the effects, just being Goldsmith using a lot of strange techniques and
Sure.
okay, here's some of the discordant musical sounds are created by using stainless steel kitchen mixing bowls.
Okay.
Neat.
That
Yeah,
makes
I mean,
sense.
sometimes you just play around. I mean, like the sound effects guys from Star Wars. They
Oh,
just
sure.
go out,
Things like
you're
the
like, here's a recorder, go out and record stuff. And they
right,
just
like the
find
blaster
things
being a guideline for an
for a
antenna or
telephone,
something. Yeah.
like a pole. It could, and just tap on it. You know,
It's
kick
like I saw a
something.
documentary years ago about how they do the background sounds. Like they showed a scene that they were trying to put the sound to. It was people running. They're on a spaceship and they were running down a corridor that was supposed to be a metal floor. And they're like, okay, how do we make that sound? And so they tried different things to make it go. Okay, would it sound like this, or would it sound more like this? And then they showed another scene where it was a horse galloping, and they basically had coconuts that they were going on a piece of wood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, well, like I said, when used to go to conventions, they had a radio theater production, and they always had the little sound guy doing. They have like a little door to make the
Yeah.
kind of sound. And
Okay, so as soon as you see something like this, you got to think what's your first thought process? From a distance, you're like, is that a naturally occurring, item, or is that, intelligent design?
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, from afar, I would if I saw that, I would immediately think somebody made that. It's just too perfect.
Well, actually, from a distance, my thought would have been some kind of weird plant that grows that way. But then, yeah, when you get closer and you see it's
fur.
And he said
it
they're
sticks.
scarecrows.
yeah, then you go, okay, clearly. Then you start thinking scarecrow or crucifixion.
Yeah,
They were huge. They were like 3 times the size of these guys. So
Yeah.
water.
That's crucial.
Okay, one of the guys doesn't have his pack anymore. So he still has his pack. Black guy still has his pack. The third guy didn't have his pack.
ooh,
I just saw
Butt
somebody's
shot.
butt.
Yep.
We got
this
moved.
was Charlton Heston's first nude scene.
Yeah, but you only get to see his butt. Yeah, it's like, be careful turning over because this is supposed to be like a PG movie.
Well, it's been a long time since I've seen it unedited. I've seen this on television for years.
Yeah,
Yeah, when he jumped in the water, you got to see a little bit more than you probably should have been able to see.
Late 60s, early 70s, they weren't quite as prudish as we've become.
yeah. This was a G film.
Yeah. But they had less problem with nudity, even in a G film, because there was nothing sexualized about this.
No,
It's like, okay, there's footprints.
Yeah, you see footprints that aren't theirs. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Somebody's stealing our clothes. The bastages.
stealing all their stuff. We still got to do that film one day, Giant Dangerously. Bastages. Some of the bits bastage.
Your testicles and you.
I love that. It's walking down the hallway with the big balls.
You want to hump your brains out. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
I would be so pissed if I were these guys.
Right?
Well, that'll teach you just to leave your clothes laying around.
I mean, I get their thinking. They literally thought they were alone on this planet, you know?
It's like they're like throwing their stuff too. So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't know what they've got. They're, humans are stupid, sort of.
Their clothes are torn to shreds. See, this destruction for no reason is very aggravating.
Yeah.
well, at least they got pants.
Well, the original concept was to have the women be topless. Like,
Darn.
like Nova would have been topless the entire movie.
Yeah.
Liberal. Was a vegetarian. Linda
like,
Harrison,
what you
who was
looking
a very beautiful woman,
Yep.
and who pretty much got the part because she was married to Robert Zanuck, the producer.
Oh.
Nepotism. Well, not of this one, but definitely
Yeah.
a big guy.
And now they're hiding.
Yeah, because they know what's coming.
Yeah, if I were the three guys, I'd be like, they're running, I think we should be running too. They know something we don't.
Now, the other thing is that's a cornfield, and we actually saw somebody eating an ear of corn.
Yeah.
The idea that domesticated corn would look the same 2,000 years from now is a little bit hard to buy.
Beating the bushes.
It's like, run.
Horses, the staple of civilization. First reveal of the sentient apes.
And of course, a lot is made of the fact that the gorillas, the darker apes, are the aggressive apes. And then you have the chimps, who are like the scientists. And then you have the orangutans, who are like the politicians, the leaders. So basically, the lighter, there's this whole thing about if it's a commentary on race.
See, and I don't know what the intent was, but I doubt that it was meant to be that clear cut. I doubt it was meant to be correlationary to actual real world races. I think it was just meant to be a commentary on there are races, there is culture that comes up around those races and so forth.
Well, when you look at the gorillas and orangutans and chimps in the wild anyway, they all kind of do seem to have a different... I mean, you look at a gorilla, it looks badass. I mean, it looks like it can rip you apart, because you would feel it would be the aggressive. Whereas the orangutan is very kind of almost zen.
Yes, you're right.
It's just very, thoughtful. I mean, I love orangutans. They're my favorite animal, and they always have this soulful kind of appearance to them.
See, now I don't understand. Do they want to capture them or kill them?
It's You got to think of it like medieval England. These were, you know, peasants that got into the king's fields. They were poaching. So they're being driven off, they're being shot, they're being taken as slaves, whatever.
He just gets shot in the throat.
Which is crucial because now he won't be able to talk.
At least he's giving the little boy a ride. Sort
Yeah.
of.
which has what do you call it? Like what was it, Jungle Book? The
Oh
little
yeah.
wobbly
He
boy?
he looked like Mowgli, right?
And it's almost like they chose who to kill and who not to kill depending on
Oh, certainly.
their action. Like, if they seem like they might be aggressive, they kill them. If they
Yeah.
kind of also just kind of gave up, they would take him as a slave. I love this. Such a commentary on hunting.
Right.
I like that. I also like the story that during the scenes, I mean, during like downtime between scenes where they had like lunch, the gorilla cast would kind of stay together. The orangutans would stay together.
Sure, sure.
And it wasn't. They didn't mean for anybody to do that. It just kind of happened organically.
Sure.
It's like, and she just happens to be the right blood type for him.
Well, it's not clear exactly what kind of what level of medical technology they've gotten to. They may not have even discovered or rediscovered blood types.
Well, it seems like they know something.
Oh, sure. They're
I think
probably right at like the Victorian level of
yeah,
of,
that's what I was thinking. Like 18, like late 18,
Yeah.
early 1900, medical wise. A lot of other things that really kind of fluctuates.
yeah.
In some of the original concepts for the film, it was supposed to be a much more advanced society,
Sure.
televisions, cars, things like that. But it cost too much, so they kept
And
it
I
simple.
will say that I could buy this level of development. It's even still kind of advanced for these kinds of apes in 2,000 years.
Yeah.
It required something like
Although-
the later films and the advancement,
Well, when you
gene
learn-
manipulation thing.
when you learn the whole history of it, it kind of makes sense.
Sure.
Because they should have some kind of knowledge because
Yeah.
there was the before knowledge,
Right.
but a lot of it just got trashed in the war.
Yeah.
He hated this because this is when he was sick. He hated getting hit by that hose.
I would imagine. No, if you've ever been hit by a fire hose, the pressure it's painful.
Now think of how we react with apes and
Yeah.
zoos. It's exactly the same way. He actually calls them bright eyes. It's so sweet. Human see, human do.
I like the New York accent there too.
Yeah.
He wants to be able to write, but just because you,
See, I would have mimicked writing.
yeah, they're very intentionally not taking certain actions because it gives away too much too soon.
Oh, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss.
Anybody watches The
Simpsons, yeah.
There's that.
It really helps having seen this before, knowing what Zaius knows, right?
Right, yeah.
So he already understands the possibilities here, and it concerns him.
And Dr. Zayas, I think, was originally going to be played by, oh, can't think of his name. Dathan from Ten Commandments.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh man, bugging me now.
So here's another thing. We've kind of, in some ways, speculated like the medical technology is like very Victorian level. Of course, their horse and carts is even less refined.
Yeah, and Edward G. Robinson, by the way.
There you go. And yet, there are some elements of their culture that do seem to be a commentary on human culture, in that there doesn't seem to be a great deal of difference between the male female dynamic in like the profession of medicine, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a present, all right. And of course, we got, haven't really talked about the makeup.
Mm-hmm.
What an advanced makeup job. They literally had to. A lot of productions couldn't do a lot because almost every makeup artist in Hollywood was working on this film.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it either, but my early impressions from this really did spur my interest and excitement about prosthetic makeup.
Yeah.
So that when I got to the Klingon thing, I kept referring back to Planet of the Apes.
Like how she's looking like, go on, have some fun.
He's like, yeah, no.
It's like, I don't even know the girl.
It is interesting how she starts following him around now.
Yeah. And Linda Harrison, very, very local girl, like Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
God bless her. It's still around, I think. Still with us. I love this.
Yeah.
Cute, cute, cute. But yeah, the makeup won a special honorary award because the Oscars didn't have a makeup category till I think 1981.
Sure, because this was such a new concept.
Yeah, and they gave just a special Oscar. It was only the second time they ever gave an Oscar for makeup. The first one, Seven Faces of Dr. No.
This is kind of tragic. He writes something out and they don't even see it.
He's Indiana Jones.
And she wipes it out.
Yeah, because she doesn't understand the importance of it.
Yeah, she just thought he was playing in the dirt. Hiya!
Yeah, very different. And they thought this through, too. The fighting style is very different.
Uh-huh.
Someone who's actually trained in some kind of military style martial arts and, a barbarian, right? Stephen Otten said now they have Oscars for most cheer-worthy moment. That's okay, whatever.
Well, I don't know if they have it. Well, I know like things like MTV Awards will give weird stuff.
Ah, he saw it.
Yep.
That confirmed his suspicions. And so for a first-time viewer, you would see that and go, well, he saw that and understood it, but he's covering it up. Why is that?
I think he realized he knows that she is a good person, or a,
Yeah.
or however you want to say it.
I think person is
But he
appropriate.
is still,
Primate.
but he is still trying to get a point to her.
It's like all he wanted was a pen and paper. He's trying to
Boom.
do something.
My name is Taylor.
One of my favorite stories is Charlton Heston runs into Kim Hunter, who is playing
Right.
her,
Exactly.
and she asks him, "So, how are you doing?" And he's like, "Do I know you?"
Yeah, I would imagine. Exactly.
He had never seen her out of makeup.
Yeah. There's a great picture on the internet of her where they're applying her makeup and the top part of her face is applied. The under part, the jaw part, isn't. And she's smoking a cigarette with a one of those extenders. Jefferson Public School, that means nothing to anybody 2,000 years on. Okay, so there has been some groundwork laid in his communication with Zira. But he's also crazy. Which is a possibility too, right?
Yeah, Roddy
You've
McDowall
been
has
saying
such a
zero all this
great.
time. I thought you're saying zero.
No, Zara.
That's why I didn't understand
Zero.
who the heck you're talking about.
I love Roddy McDowall has such one. He has such a great voice,
Yes.
and so he was perfect for this role.
From planet to planet. Ha 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 ha. He just right brothered them. Aerodynamics.
I think they've done the calculation. They think this takes place somewhere in Jersey.
Oh, that makes sense based on where New York would have to be. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a point. Well, that's true. His very existence is an anomaly, so
Right.
the explanation requires some out of the box thinking.
And you would think it would be like us having an alien
Yeah,
who can talk to us and we understand.
but
And he's trying to say, well, I
keep
came
in
from
mind
here,
though,
all this other
us
stuff.
meeting an alien without a concept of aliens. They don't even understand flight, let alone other planets, other stars. They don't have that kind of concept.
I love what Sir Torkling wrote. It's like, New Jersey makes sense because there's so many hairy people running around.
Yeah, you're right.
New York, the Forbidden Zone, makes sense.
Well, I see the groundwork being laid already. Did you see that the mayor talking about if you're Republican, get out, you're not wanted in New York?
Actually, you could make the case that he could be a missing link because you don't know what he might evolve into
True.
or devolve. See, right now you don't know what's happened.
Yeah. Well, and they're also trying to go on the premise that he's from their planet, and he's saying, "No, I'm from somewhere else.
Right.
I'm not even part of your ecosystem." And in a way, they're kind of both wrong. I know it's a man.
Now, the guy playing that ape,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Maximus, is the same guy who played the carpetbagger in Josie Wales.
Oh, okay,
Cells
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Same guy, same actor.
Oh boy. Here we go. Thank you. He knows exactly what it is.
Uh-huh.
And I think Taylor's starting to key into that too.
Whoops.
Oh boy. He's like, well, no. Nobody's giving me a snip snip.
Yeah. Like I said, he's warmed up to Nova, though. They're sitting there in a nice little spoon position.
Look, even if he wasn't attracted to her, any human contact,
Yeah.
a friend.
And I like her. She's like a scared dog afraid to leave
Yeah.
the crate. Now imagine you're walking through, DC or New York, and suddenly an ape comes around the corner.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on.
That's exactly, yeah, exactly. He said that he was a gorilla, and yet he looks like an orangutan.
Well, he's an orangutan, but the guy might be a gorilla.
No, the statue behind him is what I'm referring to.
Oh no, it's a funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay.
You see the casket there?
Yeah, I do now. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the lawgiver is the big statue. It's like they're. So he's like crawling over.
I see now. Okay. Oh boy.
Hey, using the staff. We all know he can
And it's
use
like,
a staff.
I know how to ride one.
This is kind of clever, actually. Climbing up over the roof like that.
Yeah.
Say, I would jump on the horse and ride away.
You know what inspiration they had for the architecture?
What?
Bedrock. With the Flintstones.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
say, it looks like something from the Flintstones.
Yep. That actually was a by design. I like how they fit the ape sounds into the music.
The other thing.
Do you think
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think the gorillas kind of like their wardrobe is kind of very Klingon?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, glad you mentioned that. So you mentioned the marketing on this. Mego was the one that had the license for Planet of the Apes. When they put out their Klingon figures for Star Trek, they literally used the same vests.
Oh, cool. You see that claw there? I don't know if you might have missed it. If you missed it, no one knows what the heck that was supposed to be.
Oh.
This is this big giant claw of some kind of creature. You get another view of it right there.
That is interesting.
Giant
Well,
bird?
for all you know, it could just be a piece of artwork.
True. A lot of people have speculated that it's like part of the exhibit.
But then there looked like there was a big skull down there, too. I mean, it's entirely possible that they're also finding things like dinosaur bones.
The exhibits come to life.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's... Man.
His friend's been stuffed.
But that is totally a Twilight Zone moment, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how is his throat ever going to heal, for crying out loud?
I said a lot of the
Yeah,
masks,
it's like
like,
they throw
they are
vegetables at you.
Yeah, a lot of the masks will articulate, but like for the further shots, just general people, they're just slip-on masks to save time and money. Yep, got him. And now the iconic line. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Like you could almost see on her face, like like surprise, but then she was almost happy about it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, this is like, career making for her, for a
Yeah.
scientist. She's like, I don't like you talking. Yeah, me Tarzan, you Jade. Kind of the other way around.
He's enjoying that a little too much.
Yeah. Oh, just separating them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Charlton Heston was always
Right.
given those great shouting lines.
Yep. Hey, Claude, how's it going?
Hold of that hose, and I'm going to put somewhere where the sun don't shine.
I'm gonna give you a colonoscopy with this thing. That'll clean you out.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. If she did, she wouldn't have understood it.
Let's look at, I just love her face.
Yeah.
Looking at him like that, those eyes, like I
There's
wanted to
this
stare,
look
just,
like
you know,
she clearly doesn't understand, but she really wants to.
yeah.
Now that he could talk, I'd have been like, can you just tell me where you want me to go?
I've been like,
Is this absolutely necessary?
I like it. They knock her away, and she gets right back up there.
Yep. She got knocked down, but she got up again. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Being brought before the council.
Yep.
That's like how, like, Just set things up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be clever, be quiet.
Hey, Max.
Uh-huh. You know who plays the president of the
He looks
Assembly?
familiar.
It's James Whitmore.
Oh.
It is amazing, like the people who are behind some of these makeups
Ooh,
are
Sir
some of,
Torin, Minister of Science and Chief Defense of the Faith. I didn't know Dr. Fauci was in this movie. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah.
Ah, then I'll defend myself.
Talk about a kangaroo court.
Yep. Seeing this a lot lately. We're not here to find out the truth. We're here to just do what we want,
Yeah.
justify it.
It's like, let's make a show out of it.
Yeah. It already is.
Yeah.
Right?
Very Animal Farm.
Mm-hmm.
I have to read that again. I love that novel. I guess that's why I like playing Angry Birds. You get to kill the pigs. Everybody knows Animal Farm, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Okay, if you say so. Yeah. Yeah, we got to censor this. Can't have you reading that out.
So we know what happened in the one.
Right.
It's like, well, you got my buddy in the museum.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that. That's not going to tell you anything. He's been lobotomized.
Yeah. No, not a baboon. Orangutan.
Primate. He's a primate. Let's make it easy.
There is something about the jungle girl look.
Yeah. Probably the scantily clothedness.
Yeah. What was that? Sheena?
Yeah.
Tony Roberts?
Oh, yeah.
Jane, of course. Marina Sullivan. Might have to put that. Might have to do that next year sometime. The original Tarzan with giant
Oh,
way
yeah.
smaller. Uh-oh. You in trouble now, Cornelius.
Yeah. That logic is reasonable.
Uh-huh. Well, Zara is the reasonable one. Even she said, even if he didn't come from another planet, he came from somewhere. He can talk. He can reason.
I love the see no evil, speak no evil, hear
Yeah.
no evil. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, they did it. They originally thought it was going to be like silly and cut it out, but they liked it.
And those three did it well.
Yeah.
Because you could see those expressions in people who are exasperated.
Right. I get Cornelius is coming around.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you don't want to believe your own.
I
mean,
can't.
You're seeing it, but it's so outrageous you don't want to believe it, but you have to.
Exactly. And I saw that dichotomy there when Cornelius says, well, obviously he couldn't have come from another planet. Right. Zira, on the other hand, takes a different tact. It's like, I'm not making any assumptions, right? But we've got to be open to all possibilities. If one is not true, the other must be. Unless you can think of another option.
Right.
And it's true. Either he comes from this planet or he doesn't. Either way is pretty miraculous.
And if it comes from another planet, do you really want to tick off that planet?
Well, yeah. Well, if he just comes from the other side of the mountains, what if there's others like him?
So using them to get him to get rid of the young
Upstarts.
Well,
thank you. That's the
apostates.
Upstarts is a good word too.
He sees them as apostates who challenged the truth he's trying to keep covered up. He needed them to be canceled.
Yeah, it's like medieval Rome, like with Galileo. They knew the world. They have always known the world was round. They just didn't want that to get out.
Right.
Just like
or like people today who challenge the Pope.
He knows that there is something else. Like I say, he's not stupid.
Right. Then you admit that. Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
Deservedly so.
Eastern Desert, east of New Jersey would be New York. So yeah.
Uh-huh. He's a menace because he'll get others to think.
Yeah, that's always
And
the
not just
case,
humans.
right?
We're talking apes. He'll get other apes to start thinking and go against the ape.
They have a strict
Or-
caste system that they need to keep in place.
Yep.
Well, he knows exactly what he's afraid of.
Or does he? He may just be afraid, but he may not actually know why.
No, he in his mind he believes kind of what Taylor believes, or at least he mentioned earlier in the film, right? That humans are dangerous. They
Right,
destroyed
yeah.
themselves, and if we allow them to, they'll destroy us too. Yeah, he's like, I don't care about any of this. Just show me the order and we'll be done with it.
Walk on the head.
He's like, oh, you want me to do something? Okay.
Get her too.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is supposed to be like late hours, dusk or whatever, but really all it is just a desaturated filter.
Yeah. Or a super uber bright moon.
Yeah, right? Hell, she makes a pretty compelling point.
But I do love that it's like you all look alike to other apes. It's not-
But look, even when we were watching the orangutans, right, sitting together, they look so similar.
Uh-huh.
It's very difficult to tell them apart.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love I always watched orangutan shows and stuff like that. After a while, you can start telling them apart a little bit, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they all look, they all pretty much look the same. Like think of a litter of puppies. I mean, it's like hard
Yeah.
to distinguish one from another.
Now there is a big difference in this film and the Marky Mark version, and that's that In this one, the humans cannot talk, and in the Marky Mark one, they can. It does seem kind of bizarre. What would happen that would prevent humans from talking? There's no... They don't even make utterances. You know, I can understand them not having a culture and a language, but they should at least be able to mimic sounds. Good for you. But you're not in charge of me.
Charge of me. Too bad they ain't a big old spaceship
Yeah.
sitting in the middle of something. Too bad it sank. Did they ever ask why?
Yeah. I guess so.
They need to take that leash off her, that
Yeah.
collar.
Well, I don't know what kind of games they're into, you know.
It's a fashion accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it gets. Or now, you know, the scarecrows, of course, now make more sense.
Right.
It's not to delineate to keep people from coming in. It's to keep those that are in from going out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
It's
this.
the forbidden zone.
It's like
Why is it
beyond here be dragons kind of thing.
That's actually it, yeah. It does seem to imply, because of their size, it's like, what kind of creatures live out there? This might be a representation. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't go that way. Or if you're just the compliant type, you just know this is the border, so stay away.
You think that river down there is a matte painting? They went like they kind of zoomed.
It might be,
because
because sometimes it's easier.
There you go.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
Sometimes
Sometimes
that was more evident than the other one was.
there's probably a location they could have gotten this shot, and they were just like, it's easier to just.
How are they get on opposite sides?
I know. I don't know. And I don't know if they even intended. That was a pretty big deal too, when the kid, you know, is basically looking to Taylor for advice. That's a big deal.
Well, he seems like he knows what he's doing, you know, and he's a
Yeah.
young guy. He just needs, you know, he's wants to know, and that could be part of what Dr. Zaius is fearful of: the young apes becoming
Well, an intelligent and wise person
educated.
knows, you know, regardless of where the information comes from, good information is worth seeking.
Yeah.
Wise counsel, so to speak, even if it does come from a human.
Blech, humans.
Yeah, damn dirty humans.
She's watching him shave.
Because you hark back to the beginning of the film,
Yeah.
which was actually the last thing they shot,
Mm-hmm.
because he had to be
He had to have the
clean
beard
and then
first.
short
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
I don't go in for fads.
If I recall, don't they found like a baby doll or something?
Yeah. So I don't understand that. Where I come from, only kids your age wore beards. That seems antithetical to my understanding of. It's usually young people that are clean shaven, and older people grow beards.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he could have been joking too.
Yeah, well, you're not in command either, so shut up. I didn't exactly give it to him. He kind of just took it. Yep. I like that. It's kind of hard to say, I will ignore the truth
Yeah.
in defense of the faith when you're also a scientist. I do like that though. That is
Yeah.
human or ape. You adults are all the same.
Adults. It's like you adults are always telling us kids what to do.
And the reality is, it's like, hey, someday you're going to be the adult.
Yeah, I gotta admit, for a previous expedition, he did a lot of work getting up that cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, build platforms and ladders.
Well, you don't know how big the expedition was. There was probably a lot of other people working on it.
True.
I mean, it was implied that there were more.
So Torque again has a thing about the beard. Back in the '60s, it was the other way around. Hippies, especially,
rocked facial hair,
Rocked
whereas
facial hair,
guys like
whereas guys
Heston
like
were
Heston
clean shaven.
clean-shaven.
He's right. No, I hadn't thought about that. I was thinking more generally throughout history, but he's right. Now, I love this because he kind of takes a step back. It's like, this isn't my argument. This is his. This isn't my culture. He's dealing with his own history. He like doesn't have a dog in the hunt from his perspective.
Now he's interested.
And of course,
that's
she
right.
takes
There's
interest.
the pull string. Come on, find the string and pull the string.
Ah,
Mama.
yup. Human doll that talks. They're destroying everything. Can't let the truth get out.
There was a unused portion of the story was that Nova was going to find out that Nova was pregnant at the end,
Oh.
but they decided not to do that.
Well, and it's not necessary when you consider the way it ends.
Right.
It's still plausible. Looks like that gun should have a clip. Excuse me, a magazine. Yeah, I'm not sure if those are real rifles or just constructed for this, but
They were M1s that were altered.
they had to have been altered. Yeah, and like I said, it looks like it should have a magazine, but
It doesn't.
it doesn't. So it kind of makes me wonder where the
It's a Hollywood gun. It never.
where the bullets are coming from, right? I know what you mean.
That is a very late '60s kind of attitude.
How do you like it?
I do like the fact that he doesn't try to be civilized
Yeah.
when he's dealing with him. He's like, "You tie me up, I tie you up."
Yeah. Well, you don't know all of his history, but it's definitely implied he's got a military background.
Yeah.
And he knows the answer to that question already.
Well, right there is part of the reason for culling of the
Yep.
humans at the beginning.
And I have to imagine he's probably thinking, well, there's a good deal of truth in what he just said. That's a way of saying that whatever problems our culture has, we need to deal with it.
Yeah. It's like we belong here, for better or worse.
Yeah.
It's who we are. I love this.
That is sweet.
You're so damn ugly.
And I do love his reaction. It's like, ugh.
He's like, ew.
I would have liked to have seen more reaction from Nova, though. That would have been good, too.
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong there, too, either.
No, he's not. He, like I said, he knows. He just is quite happy for everyone else to live in ignorance about it.
See, this is where the truth is coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, the foreshadowing is thick, you know?
Yeah.
I almost have to wonder if there weren't people that guessed what was happening here before the reveal. I like deleted scenes. Now you can't trust anyone under 30.
That's why. And I love the music and the sounds of this
Yep.
journey scene. Satorga and Dunstan checks in, had that kiss scene, and the orangutan applauded it. Yeah. I've only seen parts of Dunstan checks in. I need to watch that. And I like how they take their time to do this
Yep.
journey.
Pacing is perfect.
Yeah.
They don't rush it.
It takes a while. It takes a while. You don't know how many hours, days, weeks, maybe. That go
Yeah.
by.
Well, you figure it's probably like the same day. But yeah, it could have been hours.
Here we go.
Until he sees this. It's like, and how can you not have seen that from a distance? Were you not looking up?
No, I'm sure he did. He just wrote to it.
It's probably, again, just like with the scarecrows. At first, you don't recognize it. You don't know what it is. You get a little closer and you don't believe it.
And I love how they the slow reveal to the audience of what he is seeing and has been seeing.
Yeah.
And it's probably right about now you guess what it is.
And I don't know why the sound just cut out on my copy. Sorry, folks watching at home.
I did on mine too.
Oh, so we probably have the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine cut out too. So I'm just reading the words on the screen. I'm back home. We finally did it.
You
maniacs.
maniacs! You blew it up!
Up!
And he said something I don't approve of.
Although, I will say, the gravitas of it pretty much sums it up. You know? If there was ever an appropriate place for that kind of blasphemy, that's it. Because it's literally the downfall of man all over again. But man, what a great ending!
It was just one of the great endings in cinema.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
That reveal, it just shows
And-
how. I mean, because like I said, we know it's coming because it's the film is, over 50 years old. So but when you think of watching it for the first time, not knowing the story, and seeing that image, how powerful that was at the time, and you got to remember what was going on at the time: Vietnam, the Cold War.
Yep.
We were always like 5 seconds away from destruction. And
exactly.
That happens.
And that is kind of true now, right?
Yep.
But yep, there you go.
Well,
It's gonna sound like a dumb question. But was he upset because he's like mankind destroyed itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I figured it was, but it's like
It all comes to him at once. He first points out, I'm home. This isn't another planet. This is Earth 2,000 years on. And it wasn't a earthquake, plague, whatever. This was, we did it to ourselves.
Yeah, we blew it up. Humanity got to the point where they destroyed themselves. Because he kind of put all the pieces were there.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were a plague like this, like there'd be more stuff there. But this was destruction. This was something that got blown up.
Yeah, and the whole idea of the poison and all that kind of stuff, 2,000 years ago, that was true. And when did he say the scrolls were written? 1,600 years ago or something like that?
1,200, I think.
1,200 years ago. Yeah, so there still probably would have been some dangerous hot spots.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, the Forbidden Zone was probably forbidden for a very good reason, and it just got passed down. And then you get to the point where no one wants to check it out. You just accept it. It just is. That's forbidden, and we don't go there.
And I'm sure that even with all the sequels, they may not have put this much thought into it, but it's very easy, knowing what we know about how nuclear weapons work and how wars work and so forth. It's entirely possible that it wasn't the big worldwide global thermonuclear war that you think about in war games. It could have been a very limited strike where New York was taken out, Chicago, whatnot. Kind of a, what do you call it, Red Dawn kind of thing. And civilization could have just collapsed from there.
Yeah, it was a downward spiral. But like I said, they do explain what happened. And there was a war.
Yes.
Because you find out there was a plague, but it was a plague that killed all the canines, all the dogs and cats. I think
that's right. You're right.
And then humans tried to domesticate the apes to be servants and pets, and all that other stuff, and it became a slave culture. And then
Yeah.
one day, one ape said no.
Well, and what's very interesting is that
That
you're right.
was
I had forgotten that from the sequels.
and that was Caesar.
Right.
And then Caesar leads the rebellion, and then the apes win the war, and then humanity kind of falls into ruin. And
So think about
then,
this
like,
though.
it gets a little weird though. Like when you get to the last film, it's kind of bizarre.
Sure. But think about this, right? What you just described of humans domesticating apes, right? It's a direct reflection of what Zaius was just saying about, humans and the scrolls and whatnot. So it sounds like whatever ape wrote the scrolls knew the history of humans and apes and reversed the roles.
Right. But that's what it was in the last film. Well, it's not. It's actually not the. Okay, I'm trying to remember how they run. Well, there's Planet of the Apes. You're typing it too.
Yeah, I'll get it for you real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there is Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which is the second one. Then it's Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Right. Which is where they come back in time.
Then it's Conquest. And then
then Conquest, then Battle 4.
Battle 4. I mean, okay, that was over. Hey, I did pretty good except for Battle 4. The last one's a little weird. Conquest gets brutal. That's where you see the when the apes finally, it's like, humans, yeah, we're done with you, and kind of do them in.
And have you ever seen the animated series?
When
Yes.
it was first on, I
Yeah.
remember watching it, but I don't remember any of it. I remember the TV show, the regular TV show, the live action show that was on for like a
yes,
year.
there was that too, which also starred Roddy McDowall as Galen, a different show.
Roddy McDowall rode this franchise through. He was because he also played Caesar.
Yes, he did.
The one who did, and he's been the linchpin of the franchise.
The animated series you got to think of as an alternate universe. They go back to the original story, the original book, and the ape civilization is more advanced.
Yeah, but it's but then of course they did the remakes just recently, which a lot different, but kind of similar style. And then you get the 2001 Tim Burton version, which actually is, like I said, the ending is much more of the original ending, where he does escape in his ship and goes back to an Earth that has been taken over by apes.
Yeah, I've seen the explanation on that, and it's very clear to me that they just were doing twist ending for twist ending's sake, and then retroactively explaining it, and it's.
But you can't get. But as far as great endings go, the first one is unmatched.
Absolutely.
For fans of Twilight Zone, it was a very Twilight Zone-esque
kind
of an ending, and it was just. Oh, I love it. It's just cinematic magic. Is what
Abraham Lincoln still haunts my dreams. I like that, Sir Torin. Yes,
that's good. That was a creepy image with that look on his face. Was it who's the actor? Rob?
What's his name? Tim Roth.
Tim Roth. Rob,
yeah.
Not Rob. Yeah, Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Great actor for that one. Perfect
now he's playing the Abomination again.
Yep. Good to see him. I am enjoying She-Hulk. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm enjoying this show.
Actually, when I think Tim Roth, though, I still go to Four Rooms. He's still the bellboy from Four Rooms.
Yeah, when I think of him, I think of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. You're right there. And Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Honey Bunny.
But,
But that's Planet of the Apes. That is this week. The next Saturday. Do we know yet? Netter?
Yeah. What is it? Ow.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, I couldn't see it from where I was sitting.
Yep, Buckaroo
So
Banzai and what is it? Is Adventures Across the Eighth Dimension or something like that? I don't remember the whole title.
Well, actually, maybe. It's going to be that if I can't get the special guest host I want for a different film.
Right.
So I'm still trying to
Right
select
now
them
we're
down.
planning on it though being Buckaroo
I was-
Banzai.
I-
Subject to
didn't know
change.
if-
Yeah,
I didn't
subject
know
to
if
change
you
to
had,
a surprise movie.
like,
But you'll know in advance so you guys can have a chance to get a hold of it.
Yep.
okay, but for Big Al Presents September,
Okay.
there's a whole different kind of a creature. It is 80s sex comedy September in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And September 10th, we
Okay.
will be watching Porky's, the original Porky's from 1981. And on September 24th, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Boobies and butts. Boobies
We're
and
gonna-
butts.
Boobies and butts all over the place. Great jokes, pot jokes, and it's going to be
Hey, bud, let's party.
Hey, bud, let's party. Awesome, Mr. Han.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so that, but yeah, definitely September 10th, we're going to be watching Porky's. I really look forward to that. It's been a long time since I've seen that, so I'm going to have a lot of fun watching that, I think. Been a nice change of pace from all the, we had a lot of serious and
Yeah.
action stuff. Time to get just a little bit funny.
And I'll
right
tell you,
before
for all the times I saw
before
Porky's,
right
I've
before
forgotten
October
so
when we
much.
start ripping things up again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Porky's a long time. It's just a it's one of those iconic nostalgia films, and I thought it was time to give it a roll.
I dig it.
Same
I
thing with
dig it.
Fast Times. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. Part of my childhood. These were the films that if you didn't see them when I was in high school, you weren't cool. You
Yep.
didn't see Porky's? Lame.
Yeah,
Well, if
Or
you had
whatever.
cable television, you could see it like
Well, that was
times a
really
day.
it. If you had cable, you probably saw Porky's. If you didn't see Porky's, you probably didn't have cable.
Yeah. And if you saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High, to this day, you still remember Phoebe Cates fondly.
As Gibbs says, love me some Phoebe Cates.
Oh, yes. Phoebe Cates, Phoebe Cates, Phoebe Cates. She is Phoebe Cates. That's all you got to say. Kevin Kline is a lucky man. So next week is Buckaroo Banzai. Of course, this week as we go along,
Documents.
we've got, I don't know what's going on this week. The typical stuff I always push. Friends of my channel are down below, from Professor Geek to Sound Engraver. Sound Engraver, I think, will be on. I don't think there's nothing planned. No book study going on. Wednesday night. Wednesday night on Soundtracks with Birdman.
They're going to have a special guest, aren't they?
They have a special guest who is so awesome. We're going to be watching Eight-Legged Freaks. I'm joining Soundtracks with Birdman and Agent Boomer, and we're going to watch Eight-Legged Freaks. That should be fun. I have never seen that movie. So
Oh, you haven't seen it.
I have not seen
I thought
Eight-Legged
you
Freaks.
had. Okay.
No. But I'm looking forward to it because I originally thought we were going to be doing Arachnophobia, which I was all set for as well. I remember seeing that in the movie theater and freaking my girlfriend out because I would have my arm around her and then I would do the little spider crawl
Yeah, of course.
on the opposite shoulder, and man, I still feel that. I still don't think that rib ever set right.
I can imagine.
So
I think
that
they went about the movie the wrong way. You need to capture the spiders and put them outside.
And then they wrap your house in webbing, and you end up in the
and kill you anyway.
Shatner movie, right?
But that is Wednesday, and I probably 8:30. Of course, catch the Birdman. I think he's having a Batman show this week. I think they're talking James Newton Howard, the composer. Not totally familiar with him, but I think that's Monday, I believe. Is there any Culture Fortress?
Well, yes, but well, it's not really Culture Fortress, but yes, over on Mr. Matchstick's channel, special date. So if you guys don't have anything else on Monday, it sounds like Monday's been freed up because of some scheduling conflicts. Monday over on Mr. Matchstick's channel, we'll be doing a review of I think 3 DC animated films, all of which I had and had not yet watched. But Netter and I have watched them and love them. So we're going to be doing a little bit of that talking DC and maybe a little lamenting about where the film series has gone, but kind of enjoying those animated features. That's what's going on Monday.
Well, before Monday, you have on APES.
Oh yeah,
channel,
I'm doing this all backwards, aren't I?
Yeah, I got a little screwed up.
And yes, you're right. Sunday over on Aged Boomer's channel, Geeky Geezers. I just finished those notes up for him, so we haven't had a chance to finalize what is and isn't going to be talked about. But there was a lot this week, and looks like there's going to be a lot of gaming news, stuff that I didn't know anything about, and he's going to have to educate me on because he's the gamer guy.
Yep. So that's on that.
Tomorrow night.
We've already done the rest of the week, and next Friday on Last Call.
Yep.
What's going on?
Next Friday on Last Call, special guest bartender coming to us from Japan, Wakazashi's Tea House. Great channel.
Last Call goes international.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping. I got my fingers crossed that when I say what you sipping on, he says something like I don't know, sake or Tsingtao or something like that.
Sapporo.
Oh, it would be Sapporo in Japan. Right.
Tsingtao is Chinese.
You're right. So I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe he still has some. That would be our Last Call, and of course that will lead us into the Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, unless there's a surprise.
Unless there's a Either way, it's going to be pretty darn awesome. Trust me, you'll want to be there.
It's like I've been trying to nail down these 2 guest hosts. Well, technically there's 3, but I don't know about that one. But if I can get down at least one of the guys, I'm going to go ahead with it.
Yep. So. And
but that is like I said, I dropped a video yesterday. A review of 3 films, just real quick reviews of DC's League of Super Pets, Bullet Train, Brad Pitt's movie, and the Netflix romance Purple Hearts. Go over there and see what I thought about them. And I'll probably be doing another 1 or 2 this week. I saw a couple of good films today, both of which may need to be talked about. And I'm going to try to do an afternoon with Al one day this week. We'll try. I've got one little personal issue I need to take care of, and if that gets resolved without me wanting to blow my brains out, I'll be fine.
Fair enough. I hope it goes well for you, all things considered.
I do too, because I saw something when I looked at it yesterday, and I couldn't. And by the time I saw it, it was too late to call anybody about it. So I got to wait till Monday. God, I hate that. It bugs me more than anything else when I have to wait a whole weekend to find out something because of something I saw after business hours on Friday. But
hey, Al, let me ask you real quick.
Sure.
Little sneaky spoiler. Did you the Super Pets thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up, basically. There's some issues.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it, but I've been kind of wondering about that.
I gave it 3 stars.
Cool.
Almost got 3.5. My biggest issue was that the Green Lantern they used. I took a full star off.
Okay.
They used Jessica Cruz instead of any of the other ones.
Oh, I think I heard someone talking about this, and I didn't think it was a. I'll have to see it, but it's like this doesn't actually directly tie into any of the other animated or films or anything, right? This is like its own thing, right?
No, it's
Okay.
its own thing, I believe.
So it could be literally any
Because the-
time in the timeline.
Because the designs are all different. I think it's its own thing.
And it's from the point of view of the pets, right?
It's the point of view of the pets. Superman, like I said, the plus, Superman has red trunks.
Yeah.
Good.
I've noticed that they are really pivoting back to that because
They need to, because the blue pajamas thing just is
even on Superman Jr., they've brought back the red. They're not exactly the same, but it's basically, that red. Because what have I been saying all along? You don't have to necessarily make them briefs, but do something that breaks up all the blue, whether it's an expanded belt or a loincloth or something,
Yeah,
Bat
just
nipples.
but
Bat nipples. No bat nipples.
no,
If you're going to give bat nipples, then Batgirl's got to have bat nipples too. I'm just saying. We got to be fair and equal here.
yeah, DC League of Super Pets. It's a fun film. I thought some of the jokes didn't quite land, but I love the vocal work, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and there's a couple social messages.
Of course, they got to squeeze that in there.
Yeah, gotta have a gay couple
Yep.
for some reason, and Jessica Cruz for ungodly why. That was my biggest issue with the whole film, bringing in the lamest of all the Green Lanterns, in my opinion.
Because woman.
Because woman, because
Yeah.
women and
Well, they probably got her for cheap.
and his,
Well, no,
and
it's animation,
Hispanic,
so it doesn't
and it's
matter.
Hispanic women, so it's
Yeah.
double check mark.
Yeah.
That they
But no,
got
you
her
could have
voice
bought in.
talent for cheap.
Should have bought in Jon Stewart. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Jon Stewart gets the short end of the stick every damn time.
Or the line I used in my thing is, you could have brought in Guy Gardner and then have Keanu Reeves Batman go all John Wick on him, which would have been awesomely fun.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because there's that popular thing that Batman is taking out Guy Gardner with a punch, which is
Honestly, I don't want to get too off topic, but I would love to see somebody do something with that era of the Justice League,
yeah.
And just make it humorous and fun, and Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman are like, we don't want any part of this,
Yeah, but just short thing. The three films there were it's good and middle of the road because of the social weird stuff.
Sure.
Purple Hearts got way too preachy, but I liked some of it. So
Well, I'll go check out your reviews, and that will help me determine if I want to see the films.
yeah, who knows? We'll see. They were just quick, and I did them off the top of my head. But I like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Had a lot of fun watching Planet of the Apes, and always glad when my owl pals join us. It is an absolute joy to sit on the virtual couch with all my buddies watching films. Of course, I'd like to thank Troy and Nanette, as usual, for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Might have, I don't know. I think the offer's out there for Aged Boomer to join us for Porky's and Fast Times. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. But I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of the weekend. And are there any final words?
Well, as I always say, we can talk so much ourselves, and that's all well and good, and we have a lot of fun with it. But it's so much more fun when you guys are dropping comments in the chat, trivia, just engaging with us in that way, because it's more like you are, like Al said, in the virtual living room with us, watching the film with us. And you're not just friends to us, you're family too. We love you guys, and thanks for joining us.
I'll tell you, I interact with you guys more than I interact with my family, so you're better than family.
There you go.
So
That's it. That's all I had.
Okay, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the weekend and a beautiful week ahead. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.